All right, what's up, everybody? We're live after game one of the 2021 Stanley Cup Final. Tampa Bay Lightning taking it 5-1 over the Montreal Canadiens. This was a heck of a game. It was if it gave us any indication of what this series is going to be like, it's physical. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be that kind of series. I'm with the Birch Mom's guy himself.
How's everyone going? I got my little right here. Got the good luck jersey always hanging for the games, and looked like it worked tonight.
Not wearing it.
Keep it up. It's too small to wear. It's a little old one, so I've got a little bigger, so I really can't wear it.
All right, Stefan. Well, let's dive right in. First goal. Who scored it? I forget who scored it. It was I should have had this loaded up.
I believe it was Cernak scored the first goal.
Cernak, yeah, exactly.
The first.
That was pretty interesting one. Cernak. I need to watch this one more time. I'm sorry. He comes in. He comes in really quick. This is a quick breakout play for the Lightning, and I mean that was kind of the whole. That was kind of Tampa Bay's momentum really throughout this whole game, is that they really controlled the puck possession. Montreal seemed like they were a little bit lost at times trying to catch up with Tampa Bay's offense, and it just kind of seemed to bite them tonight, especially on that goal to start things out.
Yeah, it seemed to me after that goal, it kind of was like, let's see, Tampa scores the first one. I'm thinking it's still early in the first, but it really was like the tone setter of the game, because you're thinking, is Carey Price going to be able to just, do what Vasilevsky does on a normal basis? And he saved, I believe, was 21 of the 26 saves, which on paper sounds good, but those 5 ones were goals, and it just seemed like Tampa Bay had his number from the beginning of the first all the way to the third.
Absolutely. There were a lot of deflection goals as well. I know there were a couple of goals that changed they changed the credit on some of the goals. Some of them had been changed throughout the game. Like I think Yanni Gourde had one get credited to him a little bit later. Ben Sherratt scoring the only goal for Montreal, that one going in off of 2 Tampa skaters. And it really felt like Tampa Bay just like these two teams hate each other. I'm going to make that clear right now. Like they haven't played each other all year long, and after one game, they already can't stand each other, because you had Tampa Bay play 5 forwards on a 5-on-3 at the end of the game. That is disrespectful.
It's as I'm saying, and I mean, I'm looking at the numbers, and you're saying it's a very physical game. We had 58 hits on Montreal's side, and we had 57 hits on Tampa Bay's side. So from watching the game, it looked like they wanted to go at it. And the later got in the game and the more Montreal got down, it kind of seemed like they were getting desperate to the point where they just wanted to start to taking their aggression on these players.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, some of it kind of seemed skeptical at the end when who was it that had an elbow and then he just kind of kneed him in the throat. It was kind of seemed like Montreal was starting to get unprofessional and was letting it get away, because they're losing 4-1, and then at 5-1, the Stamkos goal at the end.
I think probably the worst of the physicality, though, it happened to Brendan Gallagher, who was working his butt off this game. Let me just say, he was playing his butt off the whole time, and he gets in a little scuffle at the end of the game and ends up face planting onto the ice with no helmet.
Yeah, that was
it was nasty stuff. If that happens during the play, that's a 5-minute major with how much he was bleeding. So yeah, these teams just not liking each other, and I mean it goes to show you. I mean these guys are putting their bodies on the line in more ways than one. It is the Stanley Cup Final. You're going to be playing your butt off for it. Like I'm kind of repeating words a lot, but yeah, I mean you're going to be working hard. You're going to be making a lot of sacrifice. I think probably, speaking of sacrifice, the biggest example of that, Alex Killorn throwing his stick to another teammate and then laying out to make a diving block on a shot from the point.
I love that.
What did you think of that?
That was beautiful. That I was watching it and I'm like, no way. It almost reminded me in a way of kind of how the last series was against the Islanders, when I forgot who it was, when Tampa Bay shoots the shot and he just goes and dives hand first to save what was the game-winning goal, essentially. So it looks like they're down to lay their bodies, their sticks, skates, anything on the line when it comes to this game, this series. Because we're already saying this. Montreal, in a way, doesn't really – I don't think they have the respect of the people. Tampa should be there. They're saying Montreal, I've been hearing not rumors, but, chirping that they had a little easier of the schedule. They shouldn't be where they are. They were 24-21, so the record really didn't show as much as say Tampa's did. But when I tell you the physicality was there, and I think in game 2 we're going to have a much better, tightly closer game by Montreal, because we know what Tampa's going to deliver. They're going to deliver goals. They're going to deliver everything. But it's up to now Montreal to ramp up the physicality if they can more than this game, ramp up the consistency. And honestly, Jack, do you think they still start Carey Price going into the next game after allowing?
Absolutely. I mean, Carey Price, he let in like 4 goals during game 1 of Vegas, and he still was stellar in that game. I think that was still one of his better games, even though he allowed 4. This is Carey Price we're talking about. He's not going anywhere. He'll bounce back. I feel like he has what it takes, definitely, to keep the team in the series. I feel like Montreal kind of let the game get away from them a little bit more towards the end, but early on when it was like 2-1, he was keeping them in this game. There were a lot of key saves he was making. Vasilevsky, though, he was on point as well. I mean, I said this was going to be a better goalie match than Cam Talbot versus Marc-Andre Fleury, which so far I think has been the best. This is going to blow it out of the water. I can tell by game 1 it's going to blow it out of the water. It's been, what was it, Shea Weber going on a breakaway of all people and getting robbed by Vasilevsky. And I mean, the energy from the crowd that happened after that save was just absurd.
It's electric. It's no pun intended for lightning, electric. But that entire stadium, and see, like last year they won it, but they didn't have the fans, and we kind of felt like we were not cheated but robbed of a good experience. And I feel like they're out this year to prove with the stadium being full capacity. It's just so much more of a team thing, and it's just like they build off the energy, off the momentum, all that kind of stuff, and it showed tonight.
Absolutely. I think I tweeted in the middle of the game too from the U Stadium NHL account. I was like, this is the thing that we were missing from last year's final between Tampa and Dallas. It was a really competitive series. It was really fun to watch, but no fans.
It just seemed like something was missing. You know,
it completely dampens the experience. So next thing I want to talk about, this stat right here, Montreal's power play going 0 for 2. Tampa Bay's going 1 for 3. It ends Montreal's power play streak, or shorthanded streak. My mistake there. What did they go like the whole playoffs, I think, without letting up a shorthanded goal?
I think you're right. I'm looking at the numbers.
Something like that. At least the last 2 series against Winnipeg and Vegas, they did not allow a single shorthanded goal. And the announcers have been saying all game long throughout the intermission shows as well, is 30 straight successful penalty kills. Thank you, Splash. That's a long streak, but the announcers were saying throughout the whole show today, no one they had not yet faced a power play like Tampa Bay, and I think that really showed today.
And to make back what you said, I was just going to say that I'm looking and I'm seeing all these numbers. Tampa seems to be like the number 1 team to kill the power play. I'm going to refer back to the Islanders series because, of course, it went 7, had a lot of content from that. It showed them what kind of team were. They had a 5-on-3, a 5-on-4, and they killed it. They held down so well throughout those power plays when they were down 2 guys, 1 guy, and they come up with no goals on them. So for them to be Montreal to go with 30 straight to face a team like Tampa that just doesn't let you have it, doesn't matter who's on the ice. They can have 2 men on the ice, and Vasilevsky is still going to get that save. They're still going to be able to shut you down. It just seems like Tampa is working like a well-oiled machine, knows what they're doing. Of course, it's their second year back in the finals. It's just, to me, it's amazing to see a run like this.
They've been here before and in shorter time too, because the finals were happening like in October or something last year.
Exactly. It's like the NBA. They flipped right around and they flipped into another season.
Yeah, another short one. Before we head out, something I want to mention here as well. We're gonna go off topic a little bit here as well, because the NHL has announced a couple of events for 2022 that are coming back after missing from the schedule last year. We have the Stadium Series coming back, the Winter Classic coming back, All-Star Weekend coming back, and a Heritage Classic is playing as well. So let me just pull it up really fast. So the Winter Classic is going to be held at Target Field in Minnesota between the Wild and the Blues. The All-Star Weekend will be held in Las Vegas, hosted by the Golden Knights.
Okay.
Nissan Stadium in Nashville will host the Stadium Series between the Predators and the Lightning, so your team gets an outdoor game. And they have a Heritage Classic planned for 2022, which is cool because that doesn't happen every year. But no opponents yet for that. Pretty exciting stuff. What do you think?
I mean, to me, it just seems like I said, it just seems like we're getting back to what sports should be. We're getting back to what it's supposed to be like again. The All-Star game, we're getting the class. It's finally back to being what the NHL is. It's like the NBA. We're getting a whole season back. We're getting everything we've missed in the last year that we've lost so much in. And to see that, to me, honestly, it makes me excited because we're finally going to be back to normal. Like even the fans just being in the stadium for this game, you just see the difference it makes. And it doesn't matter what team it is. If it's the Vegas Knights, the Montreal Canadiens, if it's the Islanders, just to have that, you just feel like hockey's back. You feel like this is what hockey's supposed to be like.
Absolutely. I felt that way when I went to a Dodger game earlier this year. I was like, this is what it's supposed to be after seeing them play on TV in front of cardboard fans all year, to go to a game and it's like, this is what it was meant to be.
Exactly.
Any sports game. And I can tell you what, if that outdoor game, if the Winter Classic has full capacity, the NHL is going to celebrate the hell out of that. They're going to love it. They're going to have some fun with it.
You're going to see more of it. If it sells out how it's supposed to sell out, you're going to see, I think, a few more. And I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. What was I going to mention here as well? This was something that the league, I think, had planned last year. It was the stadium. Carolina, sorry, not Nashville. Carolina actually is going to end up getting robbed of a game. They were supposed to play in the 2021 Stadium Series before obvious reasons happened. Right. So they're getting I think I don't want to say robbed because we don't know what the plans are for 2023, and who knows, they could add another Stadium Series game. They've done more than one in the same year before, so we'll see what happens with them.
I guess you could say they're getting the short end of the stick for now. And I mean, of course, they might give them something in 2022 or even 2021. I don't know yet, but
who knows?
It could be. I don't know. We'll find out as time goes on.
As a jersey geek, though, I'm so excited to see the uniforms for these outdoor games. Like, it's going to be really All-Star game too.
What was the last? My memory's not too good. When was the last time we had an outside game? Because
these guys, the LA Kings and the Colorado Avalanche in the 2020 Stadium Series. Tyler Toffoli, he gets the hat trick and then gets traded 2 days later.
Thanks for what you're doing. Let's get you out of here.
I completely forgot about that. I'm so sorry. They weren't really. I forget about those because those were the games that happened with they got postponed by 8 hours. Vegas, Colorado, and then Boston, Philly was the other one. Splash. Thank you for reminding me about that. I totally forgot because of that huge delay it had. Like the second intermission there were 8 hours between goals.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. That's what happens though when you try to mix the sun with ice. It doesn't work.
Well, especially if you have, you said it's in Nashville, right? The next year.
Yeah, Stadium Series is in Nashville during the winter time, I think. So it'll be.
Well, at least it's not in Florida during winter time because even in Florida, it's going to melt the ice regardless of what season it is.
It'd have to be one of those indoor games. You'd have to put it at what's an indoor arena? But it's for baseball. Do they have one of those in Tampa Bay? Or in Florida?
I mean, I know we have Tropicana Field. They're trying to
that's the
field.
One.
Yeah.
Tampa, I think the Lightning actually used to play at Tropicana Field.
You might be right.
Back in the old days.
I'll look it up and I can always, we'll see if that's right. But I think you're right on that one because
Marlins part 2. Thank you, Splash. All right. Last thing before we get out of here. Predictions for Game 2. What do we got?
I'm going to be at Game 2. I'm going to tell you right now what I think is going to happen. I think the crowd, the electricity, the momentum carries over. If Vasilevsky can keep this 93% shot rate percentage or save percentage, there's no way Montreal's going to stop them. Tampa just seems like I said, again, a well-oiled machine. If you want Kucherov, you want Cernak, you have Coleman, Kucherov had what? He has 7 goals in the playoffs. He's got 2 tonight.
Don't forget about Brandon Point either.
He came off he had an assist tonight. He had a 6-7 game streak of scoring a goal. If it's not him, if it's not him scoring a goal every game for the 7 games, someone's going to pick up the slack. And when it comes to the physicality, I expect this next game to be more physical early on and to be at least a 2-goal game going into the third. Of course, I'm going to say Tampa 3-1. That's my prediction for next game. I think Price buckles down. He gets his head right because, like you said, he's not a bad goalie. He's just getting exposed. And not all the goals, they weren't clear shot he got beat. It was just like a half an inch there. I think they get it together, but I don't think it's going to be a 5-1 blowout. My best case scenario is 3-1, 3-2. Tampa takes it, and then they go to Montreal. we'll see how that goes. If they can,
Yeah, we will.
just I don't know.
Just for the record, I'm probably gonna go with I'm gonna say Tampa takes it 3-2 in overtime. I think Montreal gets the Suzuki, the Toffoli, the Caulfield line. They get that back rolling. I think that they're gonna take a long look at the film from this game and understand what went wrong because they really got locked down tonight. And I think if they are able to have a good bounce back game, they should do more for the offense. But I still think the crowd's gonna be in Tampa's favor. Montreal's been really good in overtime. But I don't think they've won an overtime game away from home. I think maybe one or two. I don't remember for sure how many games Montreal has won in overtime in the playoffs this year, but I think that overtime will probably be a factor.
Yeah, they have to, if they can get them to the overtime, even like I said, 2-2, if they can get to overtime, it seems like they have a whole different burst of energy or a whole different team in overtime because they know that they have to score that goal. They have to be more offensive minded. I think just tonight, after being down, 1-0, then tying it up, and 2-1 or 2-1, and then just that one goal, it wasn't enough to get their momentum going, to get the team's morale, because by that time, the end of the game you're looking at 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, and Stamkos adds insult to injury. Montreal has to step it up because if not, they're going to get swept in 4, maybe 5. But if they can do something, I think best case scenario, the series goes 4-2 Tampa regardless.
Alrighty, well, that's going to do it for our Game 1 reaction to the Stanley Cup final between the Canadiens and Lightning. We will be back after every game. We're going to go live after every game in the Stanley Cup final this year, so you'll catch our live reactions. Maybe even some more people might show up as well. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the U Stadium channel. Download the U Stadium app. I'm Jack. That's the Bursch. Did I point the right way?
I think so. Yeah, the right way.
There we go. All right. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. At U Stadium everywhere. We'll see you for Game 2. Thanks for watching.
Go Lightning.